Hi, welcome to China Currents. I'm Chris. Last week, Elon Musk just wrapped up his first visit to China in 3 years. Last time he was here in 2019, he showed a special love to Chinese food, xiaolongbao. He went to a crowded restaurant in Beijing to taste the buns. And Musk's visit to China this time comes as the country looks to portray a friendly environment for foreign businesses as geopolitical tension with the US rises and the strict COVID controls that have made the operating environment difficult have already been lifted. On May 30th, Musk met with China's Foreign Minister Qin Gang. He praised the Chinese people and China's achievements and stated that Tesla opposed decoupling and is willing to continue to expand its business in China. It shows that Musk does have a close relationship with top Chinese politicians. And finally, Elon Musk also visited Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory on Thursday. The billionaire gave a speech to the staff and praised them. The Shanghai factory has been the key to the electric car maker's expansion into China. On Tesla's side, Musk's visit comes as the company faces heightened competition and a price war in China. Tesla has been adjusting the prices of its cars in China in a tougher macroeconomic environment in the world's second largest economy. Reuters described this trip to China as an event showered with praise, with elated netizens paying him compliments on social media all day long. But actually, Chinese netizens appear to be more sober. If we searched Musk's visit to China on Chinese video platform Bilibili, the most viewed video is one titled 5 Things to Notice During Musk's Visit. According to the video, despite huge pressure from home, Musk played along with Chinese officials in sending a message to the US government that decoupling narrative disseminated by the US government needs to be extinguished immediately. Why did Musk play along? Both the video and comment section largely came to one conclusion, that China's market is too lucrative to choose otherwise. The video also noted that Musk has a political prowess unrivaled by any other American businessman, which also explains why Tim Cook never made a big splash in China on his visit not too long ago. One will always be able to locate a few disciples of Elon Musk in a huge population such as that of China's. But it would be too naive to assume that the majority of Chinese people easily fell under the spell of an American businessman simply because he dares to visit China despite rising Sino-US tensions. On the back of Chinese people's minds, there's always this realization said best by wise words passed down from the ancients: the whole world comes for profit, and the whole world leaves when the profit dwindles. As the CEO of SpaceX, Musk also tweeted during his time in China, saying that the China space program is far more advanced than most people realized. And on the same day, China sends its first civilian astronauts to space as it launched the Shenzhou 16 mission to its space station for its second in-orbit crew rotation, marking another step forward for the country's ambitious space program. The 3 Shenzhou 16 astronauts blasted off in the desert of China's Gansu province at 9:31 in the morning and headed for the Tiangong space station orbiting the Earth. Traditionally, all astronauts would have been members of China's People's Liberation Army, usually among the best from the Air Force. While this time, among the Shenzhou 16 crew, astronaut number 3 is Gui Haichao, a professor at China's prestigious aeronautics institution of Beihang University. He made the history by becoming the first ever Chinese civilian to be on a space flight. Gui, as a professor, still has 7 PhD students on campus now. According to his colleague at school, Gui was still texting them to check on his students' thesis a day before his final departure to space. And there's a popular joke that received hundreds of millions of views on Chinese social media. Number 3, before you go into the space, you still have 7 students waiting to graduate, right? Not a big deal. We can hold group meeting in space. China is making landmarks not only in space, but also in the sky. China's first large homegrown passenger jet, C919, made its inaugural commercial flight on May 28th, flying from Shanghai to Beijing. After years of research and development, the launch of C919 is seen as a pivotal moment in Beijing's Made in China 2025 strategy, which aims to boost local manufacturing, including by reducing reliance on foreign airplanes for its aviation sector. With a range of over 5,000 kilometers, The C919 will take on the world's two major aircraft manufacturers, Airbus and Boeing. It will be a direct competitor to their A320 and B737 narrow-body jets, most commonly used for domestic and regional international flights. Now, the plane already received over 1,200 orders from domestic and around the world. But C919 was not the biggest news in the aviation industry in the last couple of weeks. Cathay Pacific, a Hong Kong airline, has already issued 4 statements since May 23rd, apologizing over the alleged discrimination against the mainland Chinese. The whole thing started when a passenger who flew from Chengdu to Hong Kong on Cathay Pacific posted a recording of flight attendants overheard in a galley complaining and laughing about the mainland Chinese passenger who didn't speak English or Cantonese. The passenger mistakenly asked for a carpet instead of a blanket, and this was what the flight attendant said.
I'm like, we cannot say blanket in English, we cannot have it. True. Carpet is on the floor. Feel free if you want.
If you cannot say blanket in English, you cannot have it. Since when did airlines start to host English lessons on plane? Just because people don't speak a certain language doesn't mean they don't have sophisticated thoughts or should be made fun of. And I thought the flight was from Chengdu to Hong Kong, from a Chinese city to another Chinese city. So what's the problem for passengers to speak Mandarin Chinese? The clip went viral on Chinese social media and drew much criticism towards Cathay Pacific. Netizens blamed the airline for looking down on mainland Chinese and questioned the company's code of conduct, since it was not the first time Cathay Pacific being accused of such behavior. It also prompted a broader discussion of people in Hong Kong being conditioned to look down upon their mainland counterparts. Well, these kind of behavior are not only discriminating the mainland Chinese for years, but the entire Chinese community in Asia as well. The news also went viral on YouTube, Twitter, and many other Western social media. Overseas Chinese in Singapore, Malaysia, and other Asian countries all rushed to the comment section and complained about their own experience of being treated unfairly. If you take a flight of Cathay Pacific, it will not only face the price discrimination of different class seats, but also a language discrimination. You will get 3 different levels of services and attitude from flight attendants based on the language you speak: English, Cantonese, or the West, Mandarin. If you remember, Stop Asian Hate is a popular slogan against racism and racial injustice targeting Asians. But it really hurts and infuriates people the most when the racism and hate comes from your own people. Sometimes it's hard for Chinese to be proud of their identity and celebrate it. A Taiwan taekwondo athlete waved the Chinese flag after winning a bronze medal at the Asia-Pacific Masters Game in South Korea. Chinese media first reported the man named Li Tongxian mounted the podium to receive a bronze medal. He brandished the Chinese flag to celebrate his win. You can see the flag he held was carefully folded. Many netizens assumed he probably had to carefully hide it in his luggage for him to take out at the podium. Reacting to this incident, the Sports Administration under Taiwan's Ministry of Education said the participants in APMG only represented themselves. While Chinese social media praised the athlete's courage to express his emotion towards his own identity, Li himself responded in a video afterward and said he was not afraid of the backlash he would face in Taiwan. What he feared was people in Taiwan might forget their own history and their own heritage. Next up, we have an update from the Chinese government. China appoints new ambassador to the United States of America after a 5-month vacancy. On May 23rd, Xie Feng was appointed as the new ambassador to the United States. The position has been vacant since last December, after former ambassador Qin Gang was promoted to foreign minister. As a senior diplomat, Ambassador Xie had been a vice minister of foreign affairs since 2021. He's recognized as a sophisticated U.S. specialist who spent the first 2 decades of his career working in North American and Oceanian branch of the foreign ministry and later in the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. Ambassador Xie also served as ambassador to Indonesia and commissioner to Hong Kong. Xie reportedly played a key role in arranging a Xi-Biden meeting in Bali last year, as well as in coordinating the release of Huawei CFO Meng Wanzhou. In his address after landing in New York, Xie pledged to enhance exchanges with the US and to safeguard China's interest as the bilateral relationship is facing difficult challenges. But the tension between the 2 countries have not been eased. On May 26th, US said Chinese jet conducted unnecessarily aggressive maneuver, intercepting US spy plane over South China Sea. According to the footage, the Chinese J-16 fighter cut directly in front of the nose of US RC-135 aircraft, forcing the US plane to fly through the wake turbulence of the intercepting aircraft. In video of the incident released by the US military, the turbulence is evident as it disturbed US aircraft along its flight path. The intercept is similar to another encounter between US and Chinese military aircraft last December. A Chinese Navy J-11 fighter jet intercepted another RC-135 rivet joint over the South China Sea in what the US called unsafe maneuver. The Chinese fighter came within 20 feet of the nose of the US spy plane, forcing the larger, heavier US aircraft to take evasive maneuvers. Thank you for watching this episode of China Currents. If you have any thoughts and comments on our show, please contact us at the email address below. I'm Chris. See you next week.